Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I had a question asked of me not too long ago, and that was from Vincenza. Thank you, Vincenza, for the question. And her question was, what is the most basic equipment that I need to get started in voiceover or audiobook narration? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. First and foremost, you need to have a computer. The computer will be running all of your peripherals, all of your hardware. It needs to have at least one USB port. If you're going to start voice acting with the very basics, you need a computer with a USB port, and then you're going to need a USB microphone. So you can plug that puppy right into the computer. The only things to keep in mind are that if the computer is going to be in the room with you, if you have a very small recording space, as I do, you have to be cognizant of fan noise. If the computer has a loud fan, then that is going to add a lot of background noise to your recording. So if it has a loud fan, see if you can move that guy, the actual fan unit, the unit with the fan in it, move it outside of your recording space if you can. Or if you have a laptop that has, a loud fan in it, move that outside of your recording space and just hook up an external monitor to it so you can see what you're doing, and of course a keyboard and a mouse. I have done it. I did it for a long time and it works. Recently, I went to, actually about a year ago, I got one of those Intel Nooks, the very small little all-in-one unit. I think I have one posted on my website at voiceoverangela.com. And this little guy here is the Intel Nook that I was telling you about that I started with. It's a very small little unit. It's about this big, and the reason I chose this little unit because it was small, it didn't have a very large footprint. And again, my recording space is not very large at all. So here's a better picture of it. The reason I chose this particular unit is because it has Thunderbolt connectivity. And you don't find a whole lot of small mini towers, well, back then when I bought it anyway, that had Thunderbolt connectivity. And the reason you want that is because a lot of the good interfaces, as you start to upgrade your equipment, are connected to your computer through Thunderbolt 3. So this is why I chose this particular unit because it's small, it had just enough IO for me, and then it also had that Thunderbolt 3 connectivity. So I was trying to future proof myself. Um, so I could upgrade my interface later and have it still compatible with my PC. And then also, as I said before, this little guy is highly upgradable. That little top comes right off. You can add more RAM, you can add more storage, but in the end, it just didn't have that oomph that I needed for what I was moving towards. And it's a great little unit, and they're highly upgradable. You can open them up and put in extra RAM, put in extra storage. Um, I needed a little bit more oomph. I ended up going with a Digital Storm unit. I went to Digital Storm and I custom built my own workstation. So it is an absolute beast, but it's in my recording space now and you can barely hear it. It has, fans and it's liquid cooled, but it's very quiet and it is an absolute love this. Thank you guys. But as you can see, these things are gnarly, and the particular unit that I got is, right here, optimized for your software. So it doesn't have any of the bloat, it doesn't have anything that it doesn't need. It's custom built just for me, and it is amazing. So, first and foremost, you need a computer, and then again, if you are gonna start with the very basics, you can use a USB mic. But as you can see, there are a lot of USB mics to choose from. A microphone, and I hate to say this right now during the coronavirus pandemic, it's really hard to get out and around. But if you can go to a center like Guitar Center or I'm not even sure some other musical, like a place that sells musical instruments, if you can go in and they have microphones on display and you're able to try them out, a microphone is going to work different for your voice. Some mics will bring out, the brightness in your voice will make you, some of them will make you sound a little bit warmer. Some will bring out the bass, and some might make you a little bit too bright or too warm or too bassy. You really have to listen to the mic and find a mic that works best for your voice. Um, it's really hard to just give you one concrete microphone because they all sound different and can bring out the highlights and, maybe even some of the worst parts of your voice. But as far as the USB mics go, like I said before, I started out with a Blue Yeti and then I moved to a Rode. This is the USB version here, but it was a condenser mic. I see a lot of YouTubers using this microphone here also. And then I also see some that use this Audio Technica. A lot of these mics are great and they're just under $200. Again, if you shop around and go to OfferUp, Macari, eBay, you can find one that's gently used and use it for until you get to the point where you can start upgrading and then start upgrading your equipment. But there are a lot of USB mics out there. And again, I'll put some links in the description to some of the ones that I think that you should start with. But if you want to step up from that, you want to go with an XLR mic, which needs a audio interface in order to communicate with your computer. It's kind of a bridgeway that takes the information being picked up by your microphone and converts it into language the computer can understand and then is picked up by your DAW or your digital audio workstation. This is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. And of course, I do a lot of shopping on Sweetwater, so this is what popped up. But it's about $109 on there. That looks like they got a savings on it. But it's just enough of an interface to accommodate one XLR mic. And this is really all you need to get started. I use Adobe Audition, and that is actually the software that you're going to use to record your audio. Now, Adobe Audition costs money. It's not free. There are some versions, I believe, that are about 20 to 30 bucks a month. I opted for the entire Adobe suite because I do a lot of video editing and After Effects and those sorts of things. So I have the entire suite, which costs me about, I think, $55 a month. But it has paid for itself over and over and over again. Another option for a DAW is Audacity. If you go to audacity.com, it is another recording software, um, downloadable program that records your audio for you. And you can also insert effects and you can do all of the things that you need to do as a voice actor. And that is completely free. And a lot of people use it. Adobe Audition is just my preference. But there's Reaper, there's GarageBand, and then there's another one that I can't put my finger on, but Audacity and Adobe Audition, and I believe Reaper are the ones that I hear most often. I'm not too sure about the cost for Reaper, if there is a cost. Sorry, I don't know much about it. But if you ask me about Adobe Audition, I can tell you all about it all day long. But those are really the basics. So, computer and a microphone and a monitor, of course, because you need to be able to see and edit your audio recording. You also need something to read your copy off of or your scripts that you're going to be narrating from. In my studio, for example, I have, um, and this is a very small area, so I have a lot of stuff crammed in here, but I have a workstation, my computer, I have a nice sized monitor in here, and then I also have my microphone on an arm so I can move it around to wherever I am. If I'm obviously looking at my computer, I can have the mic pointed at my face. But if I'm narrating, I typically do it this way. I have a tablet that is just off camera here that I use to narrate that displays my copy that I narrate from. If you go with an XLR dynamic mic, then you will need an audio interface. Now, the audio interface, there's a lot of those as well. If you're just starting out and you want to go with an XLR mic, um, then Focusrite has a great few options for you. There's the Scarlett Solo, which is usually about $100, but you can find those on, OfferUp, Macari, eBay, Amazon, slightly used. You can pick one up for about 50, between 50 and $75 if you look. And that I had one of those when I first started, and that was a great little audio interface. I have since upgraded, of course, but I still have a Focusrite, no longer the Scarlett Solo. There is a ton of other hardware that you can get as you go along and start to upgrade. But again, if you're just starting out, the most basic the most basic components you're going to need are a computer. And again, if it has a loud fan, see if you can move it outside of your recording space, a microphone, a USB mic if you really want the basic. And there's nothing wrong with them. I started with a laptop and a Blue Yeti mic. And that's it. That's all I had. And then, of course, my DAW, Adobe Audition. And I started with Audacity, but I only used Audacity for a couple of weeks, and then I moved to Adobe Audition. I just liked the way that it looked. It seemed like it was more intuitive to me. But again, a lot of people use Audacity. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just preference. Computer, microphone, and a DAW or digital audio workstation. That's all you need to get started. So, if you have any other questions for me, please reach out to me. Leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, leave me a like. And if there's any other questions that you guys have, again, I love hearing from you guys. Please ask me. I'll make a video explaining the answer. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video.